The previous owner finished all the topside teak on Blown Away with Sikkens Cetol. A few years ago, my marina neighbor caught me sanding a section of tow rail. "You're not going to varnish that, are you? If you do, it will start chipping and peeling in a year or two, and you'll have to do it all over again. Better switch to SEMCO," he said. It's 5 years later, the boat is in Florida, and the tow rail is a mess. Refinish the tow rails was high on my retirement boat project list. After doing a bunch of research, I had narrowed my choices to 4. 1, 9 to 10 coats of varnish. 2, fewer coats of varnish with a middle clear epoxy layer. 3, 6 coats of teak oil. 4, SEMCO. My new marina neighbor in Florida has beautiful teak rails. After he proudly described the 100 or so hours he had spent prepping and varnishing these rails, I congratulated him effusively, but immediately moved varnish further down the list. All I want from my tow rail finish is a uniform appearance that lasts. I decided to give SEMCO a try, but first, I needed to get all the old cracked and peeling varnish off. The best way to do this is with heat and scraping. Two things I learned right away: wear gloves and tie the scrapers to the lifeline. You don't need to heat and scrape at the same time. Heat first and then scrape. Don't heat too much though, you can scorch the wood. This is the scraper I use the most. Next is light sanding with 80 grit and then 120 grit. After that, I washed it down with water and then cleaned with the SEMCO 2-part teak cleaner. Okay, so I have the 2-part SEMCO teak cleaner, part 1, part 2. I'm going to use spray bottles, which I have already labeled for part 1 and part 2. And this is my chosen scrubber, it's just Scotch-Brite clad. And per the instructions, we're going to wet it down. And I'm going to apply number 1. And then number 2. I let that dry overnight. Now we're ready for gold tone SEMCO teak sealer. The instructions say to apply with a foam brush and then rub it in with a rag. I did that initially, but quickly realized the wood was sucking it all up and there was really nothing to rub in. In the end, I worked in 10-foot segments, applying 4 coats, one right after the other. It's 55 degrees out here today, and one of the benefits of SEMCO is it doesn't matter what the temperature is, you can use it. This stuff is super thin. It seeps in under the tape, and every stray movement flings droplets on the deck. I kept an acetone moistened rag handy to wipe up drips. My approach for protecting the deck evolved over time. Cardboard worked, but was bulkier and more expensive than necessary. Butcher paper worked pretty well too, but heavy drips soaked through. Ultimately, I settled on this waxed freezer paper, which was inexpensive, easy to put down, and impervious. This is how the SEMCO looks the next day. The transom was a special problem. Not only is the varnish peeling, but the sealant between the teak and the fiberglass is a mess. Heating and scraping removed all the old varnish. The old sealant peeled right out with a little encouragement. When I had put the sealant down 5 years ago, I did it freehand, thinking it would self-level. It didn't. This time I'm taking pains to get a neater application. I'm using SEMCO. This wide spreader really wasn't working, so I cut down a small spreader to just the right width. That worked great. Not perfect, but definitely improved. This is the transom after applying SEMCO. It was 9 months between starting the first section of tow rail and finishing the last section. 9 months of weathering had lightened those early sections, and I didn't have the uniform finish I was after. I taped off the whole deck and applied 2 fresh coats of SEMCO all the way around. Stripping the old finish was the most time-consuming step in this whole process. With SEMCO, I will never have to do that again. I plan on putting down the freezer paper and applying 2 fresh coats every year or 2. That's a job that's easily done in a day. I dropped a few things in the water during the course of this project. Scotch-Brite pad, scraper, sunglasses, earbuds, hat. I retrieved most of these things with minimal drama. The day I knocked the GoPro into the water, well, that was a little more dramatic. Oh shit. As I started filming this, I knocked the GoPro in the water. Right about there. Stripped down to my underwear, jumped in. It's so murky, couldn't find it. Came back, was starting to get dressed, looking for my magnet. I got a strong magnet, but apparently it's not on the boat. I was gonna try to use that, and I found my goggles and my underwater flashlight, so I stripped down again, jumped in with those, so murky you can't can't see anything. Last try, I said, okay, this is the last try. It's high tide, so 7 feet deep right now, and found it with my hands. So here we are, thank God.